Yes, they do. Welcome back to Sunday Sound Off, and our first hot topic of the night. What should the mob outside that Bieber concert that cascaded upon poor Eric Hosmer, defenseless Eric Hosmer, what should that signal to Royals management? There are a lot of our young fans. We might think about signing this guy long term, or at least trying. Les, what do you think?
I think Eric Hosmer finally realizes what it's like to be Frank Boal and just getting mobbed all the time. But look, it's gonna signal that, you know, he's at that rock star status now, without a pun intended, of being at the Bieber concert. He's young, World Series hero, one of the World Series heroes. He's a handsome, big, tall guy in a Major League World Series winning team. So it's got to signal, hey, we got to get this under control. You don't want to have a situation where you've built a great clubhouse, character, teamwork, and then all of a sudden it's where you can't even go out anywhere, or things start going to somebody's head right now. So I don't think it's a major deal, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on, because you don't want one guy, I think, to get too big. I know the fans will dictate that, but within the organization, you don't want one guy to get too big, because that's when that breakoff stuff can start happening.
Blair, what did you think about that when it happened?
Well, it was an interesting story, and the second part of that story was there was a young girl who tried to reach him, fell, and he went and picked her up, and it turned out to be just a nice story.
Mr. Wonderful is what
yeah,
we're talking
exactly,
about here. Yeah,
exactly. Hey, look, it's nothing but positive for the Royals to have a player like this. I can't remember the last athlete like this in Kansas City. Maybe Joe Montana when he came, 20-some years ago, sort of a rock star celebrity sort of athlete in Kansas City. I don't think it's not going to sell more tickets to the K, I don't think, but it's certainly a marketable situation for the Royals if they choose to go that way.
Soren?
I think it's a great question, because I think it is a very fine line. Look, Carlos Beltran was a better baseball player than Eric Hosmer is, and will go down when his career is over as a better baseball player, yet he never had this kind of appeal. Why? He didn't play on winning teams. The winning is what helps to make him so popular. You know, you mentioned Joe Montana, Blair did, and I think that's an important one. He was a rock star. He had won championships, and he was playing on a championship caliber team for the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Royals, look, I do think it sends a statement, and you got to think longer and harder about signing him. He is the leader of this team. It does maybe bump up your number $10 or $15 million because of the appeal he has. But at the end of the day, he will not be popular if they don't win. If signing him means you can't win, then you can't sign him.
And here's our second hot topic of the evening. Does the PGA Tour need another Tiger-like player to re-energize the tour? They're now, after the Tiger effect, they opened all these new golf courses, Blair. Now all of a sudden they're starting to close them again. What do you think? I know these young kids are great players. It's just there's no, I don't know. There's just something missing.
Personality,
right,
for sure. Look, does the tour need another Tiger? They need Tiger, is what they need. They need Tiger to get his game back and to be competitive again on the tour, because there hasn't been anybody like Tiger, you know, since the end of the Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, even Tom Watson era of golf in the 70s and 80s. I can remember. Look. Since the end, I'd just say since Jack Nicklaus won the '86 Masters, I don't think there has been another golfer. There's certainly been nobody as compelling as Tiger Woods, and there wasn't before, and there hasn't been since he's been in his little slump. Golf needs personalities, and right now the sport doesn't have that. Jordan Spieth has an opportunity to be that person. Phil Mickelson was that person for a little while, but wasn't able to sustain his excellence.
Right.
That's a long answer to a short question, but the answer is yes.
Yeah, there's just no fire, Soren. There's just not that. No. You know, they even showed some highlights of Tiger Day, and he's pumping his arms. And
yeah.
You just don't see that anymore.
No, you don't. And Tiger was a guy that was, you know, I think a dynamic figure out on the golf course. Like you said, the fist pumps and those things. You know, he also was, you know, Catalan-Asian, African-American, all the different things that make him up, that made him unique, that made him, I think, even a bigger star in golf. But yeah, does golf need it? The answer is yes. Every sport needs it. Look, when Michael Jordan left the NBA kind of, you know, floundered for a little bit. LeBron came along. That was a big star. That lifted him up. Good or bad, hero or villain, just a dominant player. You need that. Now you got Steph Curry in the NBA. The NBA is hot right now. Yes, golf and every sport needs that dynamite, dominating, you know, team and or individual and personality to hang their hat on.
Les?
Well, look, I'm playing a lot of sports with my kids right now. We play wiffle ball in the front yard. It's their Hosmer, their Perez, their Kane. Then we play basketball in the driveway, and my son wants to shoot from the driveway across the street because he wants to be Steph Curry. But when we go golfing now, we don't talk about Tiger Woods because he's not been playing very much. He doesn't talk about maybe Jordan Spieth or something like that. The gentleman to my right, the gentleman to my left are exactly correct. It needs to be Tiger Woods, and if he's not going to be around, it's got to be this young gun that is vocal, that doesn't care what people think, that is very kind of almost enigmatic and a fist pumper like Tiger Woods was. You get a guy that does that, it gets people excited because Tiger Woods kind of broke that, well, it's the gentleman's game, and it still and always will be a gentleman's game, but to have that kind of outspoken and outgoing personality and you're fist pumping and you're in shape and a golfer's lifting weights, how should that happen? That needs to come back into golf, and until it does, it's just going to probably continue to suffer.
Yeah, they need somebody to unstuff the stuffed shirts. Okay, our final hot topic. Should the NFL expand the playoffs? We're talking about this, at least adding one more team to each side, giving a team a real bye. Seren, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely they should. And this is a conversation that I think the NFL has been having for a long time. I used to talk about this with Lamar Hunt Sr. This is something that Lamar wanted many, many years ago, to get all 16 teams, or to take it to 16 teams so that you got all the big boys playing. The NFL does everything about TV, yet they leave their two best teams in each conference sitting and watching. Look, either be money-grubbing pigs and put all the big boys out there, or narrow it down to just 4 teams. But don't try to serve both masters. Yes, they should expand. We should have all the teams playing that opening weekend. And as long as you're going to keep putting a game on every single network, you need more games. The playoffs are what make the money. It is inevitable. We'll go to 14, and then we'll go to 16. It's going to happen.
Blair, you got 30 seconds.
Well, the get off my lawn side of me says no. It's been a great system since 1990. I love the NFL playoffs the way they are, but change is inevitable. The only thing I don't want to see when they do change is there's some talk about playing on Monday night, playing on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That first weekend, don't play on Monday night. That's the National College Football Championship game. They can't do anything to go against that.
There we go. Up next, we're going to get some final thoughts from the panel. By the way, the Get Off My Lawn is my deal. Watch it, huh? We're going to get some final thoughts on what's on their minds. You're watching Sunday Sound Off.